Stretched out smile, holding breath, I'm falling down. Take quick steps, you're only there a moment. I'll put my coat on. Eyes like gold, sharpened takes, you're standing up. Quick and pace, it's warm outside, I'm okay for a while. And I can make myself happy for the moment if you won't. Closing off my senses, I'll water them down. Push away, I think that I can give up now. And I'll sharpen my focus if you notice when I'm gone. Upside down, no more sky. My mother said, be careful, don't keep it inside. Broken words trace your lips, you claim the earth. Fingertips, another day, we're gone, just passing us by. And I can make myself happy for the moment if you won't. Closing off my senses, I'll water them down. Push away, I think that I can give up now. And I'll sharpen my focus if you notice when I'm old t-shirt smells like you said I was fine. Thought that was true. It was cold outside. I lied, but you put my coat on.
through the left side, base hit! Downing is in to score! And DVC walk it off!
Chest high step, he looks down the middle of the field, he's gonna throw the goal route, has a man in the middle, intercepted! Intercepted, taking it down the far sideline, he steps out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage, and that's how you cap the game up.
Sierra Smith quickly worked around, feeding the hot hand, Jasmine got it! 3 threes for number 23.
Who finds Edwards? Edwards needs to get the shot up. Pulls up a deep three. Able to knock it down.
The counter-attack. Here comes Carla Ramos forward looking for Noelle Lemus. She's gotten by the last defender. Valentine comes out. Noelle drills the keeper. Lemus. And that is a DVC victory. And the Vikings are champions of California. Welcome, faithful followers of the Green and White, to coverage of women's soccer on DVC Vikings Live Radio. I'm your host and commentator, Joe Hickey, ready to bring you today's first road trip of the season, a matchup just outside the state capital between the Eagles of Woodland College and the DVC Vikings. Two teams off to similar starts as it works out, but with different feelings coming into today. Both the Eagles and the Vikings are 1-2 so far on the season, but Woodland got their victory back on opening day against Redwoods exactly 2 weeks ago. They've been outscored 8-2 since, falling to Foothill 4-2 and to DVC's conference mates Sacramento City 4-0 in their last two. Interestingly, the Vikings lost their first two matches of the season by a combined 8-2 scoreline, but they played their best soccer of the year so far in a 4-0 Tuesday win over Cabrillo and are riding the high of improvement, of victory, and potentially of history. That first win of 2025 was the 199th in the storied career of DVC head coach Cailin Mullins, and today her charges will be braving the near 90-degree heat in Woodland to try to bring home number 200 against the program that the Vikings beat pretty handily last year in Pleasant Hill. We're going to take a quick look, though, at the lineups, as there is one big issue for DVC, which is the loss today of Jocelyn Pelcastre. What that means is that the Vikings are going to be playing with 11 healthy players, so they are all out there in the starting lineup. As a result, first start of her DVC career for Emma Soboleski. They will take on a Woodland side whose bench seems to be growing by the day, and you'll see what I mean in just a moment when we kick things off and the full rosters go up here. Alan Peña Garcia in the orange over black and black is your center official. He's joined at our sideline by Armando Gutierrez and at the far sideline by the player benches by Jose Luis Salazar, the men with the flags. It's going to be DVC about to kick off in the road, white over black shorts and white socks for the first time this season, green racing stripe down the side, and DVC emblazoned across the chest where you might normally see a sponsor, and we are underway in exactly this moment. They are attacking left to right across your radio dial. Woodland in the head-to-toe all-green home strip. Ball worked by DVC to the defense right out of the gate. Sofia Loera, now Maila Hicks. Soboleski will station herself as the right wing forward, it would appear. And so that does result in a bit of a shift in the defensive line. Hannah Morell will be starting at right back in place of the absent Pelcastre. Amanda Robertson on the left side in that fullback role. Your midfield consists of Cami Regas and Alina Rodriguez, a bit more reserved. Miki Miyazaki, the playmaker, with Soboleski on the right wing, Walden on the left wing, and Anjali Huber, scorer of 5 of DVC's 6 goals on the season, as your center forward. Ball out on the far sideline right now. Early days of this match from the capital. The Vikings coming off that big win against Cabrillo, and harboring the hope of some reinforcements in the near future, and not alum, but a freshman from last season's team that was not back may well be joining the fray next week. A pair of track athletes as well have expressed interest in joining the squad, and speed certainly something that could come in handy, especially once Big 8 play begins. Hannah Walden earning a throw-in for the Vikings, deep in enemy territory, far sideline. That's the left side of the Viking attack. So far, DVC have held onto the ball pretty well, crossed in towards the near post, and that's where it'll be claimed by the freshman keeper out of Antelope, Olivia Egan. The danger woman, and you saw it on the graphic if you were looking earlier, is going to be Kenya Shears, as this ball, speaking of danger, is coming right towards our electronics, but is going to go out wide of me. Considered getting up and trying to deal with it and realized I might yank everything to the ground and stop the stream, and we've had enough of that already this season on DVC Vikings Live. A first half that didn't go out, a first half of which was a frozen picture unbeknownst to us, so I'm going to stay right here and mind my thing. Hannah Morel has gone and obtained the ball. Alina Rodriguez making a nice move inside. It's going to be headed away, however, by the 16, Bella Rico. Only as far as Anjali, though. Mickey drops back into the center circle. Kenya Shears, I was mentioning, the danger woman for Woodland, is stationed up top, a little isolated at the moment. She's got 4 of the 6 tallies, 2 in their 4-0 win, and 2 as well, the 2 in their 4-2 loss to Foothill following the win over Redwoods. Up ahead, it's the number 10, Kayla Canchola, working against the Vikings 12. Robertson earns a throw-in now for Woodland on the far sideline, right side of their attack. Ball dropped back to Sam Urbina. Coach Max Alvarez in his second year, and for that matter, the second year of this Woodland program, won 16-1 last year. Picked up all of their points against Mendocino, a draw early in conference play, and a win in the finale. 4 of their 8 goals scored last year also coming against Bendo. They also tallied against Santa Rosa in their program opener, as well as Sac City, Solano, and Napa Valley. They did concede 70, though, in that first season of play. Not an uncommon thing to take your lumps early. But I think back to programs like Lake Tahoe Community College, who the Vikings helped welcome, as that ball is drifted back and taken away by Soboleski, who's flying up the right line after getting one from Rico. Ball laid back, though, is a bit behind Huber, who challenges the 20, Tovar. Ball popped up in the air here by Woodland, drifting out towards this near sideline. Soboleski looking to hold on to it under pressure from Valeria Leon. Hicks tries to clear, but it's off Leon. Nearly falls kindly for Jennifer Alvarez. Now cleared a bit more decisively to the midfield stripe. Woodland trying to get the ball under control here. It's Canchola drifting out towards the right from the center. She's got cavalry with her, and Shears inside the box. Dribbles in toward the right side of the 18. Fires, blocked by a DVC defender. Another attempt, and that one's going to flash past 2 possible players that could have put it in. But neither one able to get ahead to it, and it goes out for a goal kick. Exhale there. Valeria Leon at the far post. Kenya Shears just about at the center of the goal, were the 2 players closing in. Had either one of them gotten to it, DVC's keeper in yellow over black, Bella Hernandez, would have been out to sea. There was a good bit of box organization, but the cross from Canchola not quite enough on the second bite at the apple. The goal kick, battled for, briefly won by Soboleski, now dropped back to the defensive line. Camille Salazar, Egan, as Luciana Pimentel joining Salazar as the center of the defense. Left back appears to be the 16, Bellarico. It's the number 3, Sam Urbina, at the far right side of that defense. Ball up ahead right now for Shears, bypassing the midfield line. Back to Canchola, looking for Shears again. Into the 18 from the right side, firing, and Woodland have got the advantage early. Kenya Shears, assisted beautifully by Kayla Canchola. And here in minute number 6, the breakthrough right away. Take a moment here to update the graphics for you. And it is right away, Woodland taking a ball away from the Vikings back line. Morel does well to interrupt a ball forward from Alvarez. Claimed at the midfield stripe by Walden. Drops that back to the arrival of Angie Huber, who's playing a bit deeper here in the immediate aftermath of that goal. Huber does well to step around a couple of defenders. Now working her way up the left side. Touched away by Luciana Pimentel, and a throw in to come for the green and white. So Shears joins Angie Huber on 5 goals for the season. The two teams combined have scored 3 other goals besides the ones tallied by the 11 in green and the 7 in white. Here comes Woodland again. The Eagles up the right side after winning the throw-in. Central for the captain, Yahaira Ramirez. Touched away and now claimed in the midfield by DVC 17. That is Miki Miyazaki looking up ahead. Little direct for Alina, who's moved into the center forward position. Ball comes free to Soboleski. Now tries to touch it forward. Little too much stank on it. That's going to carry straight to Egan in goal. Not a bad idea. So Alina Rodriguez, it seems, exchanging positions with Angie Huber. Thinking maybe a little more brawn and a little less speed in the back line could benefit the Vikings as they try to create. Loera protecting from the arrival of Shears. Ball drilled deep towards the midfield stripe, and beaten to it is Soboleski by the 16, Rico. Vikings defense clears though, comes to the feet of Miyazaki, steps back. Good work under a little bit of pressure, and now finds Huber surging through the middle. Outside the center circle, now trying to put it into the path of Soboleski, but a little too central. Cleared away by Woodland. Ramirez ahead for Canchola. Right side of the center circle, and now again going direct. That one mishandled and offside anyhow, off the foot of Jennifer Alvarez. So it does appear to be Yahaira Ramirez Padilla, Kayla Canchola, and the 20 Anna Tovar, transfer from Casumnes River, in the midfield. Might well also be Valeria Leon in the midfield. Looks like a 4-4-2 with Shears and Alvarez up top. And it's going to be, again, Woodland on the ball for a moment. Pups loose on the right wing, chased and out for a DVC throw. Vikings on the season. 1-2 in matches actually contested. Big surprise of that early goal is it's the first goal DVC have conceded in the opening half hour of any of their games. To this point, it has been the story of 3/3, minutes 1 through 30 coming in. Vikings had outscored opposition 3-0, and it is going to be on the restart an opportunity here for Woodland for just a moment. Loera, some cute work in close quarters to roll that with her heel back towards Hicks for the clearance, but Woodland had won it off the initial throw-in. Ball forward, lost out into touch here on the near sideline by Alina. It was brought in the direction of Shears, unable to fully handle that, and Loera and Hicks combined to get rid of the ball. Alvarez back now to Canchola, and in comes Miyazaki. Canchola, though, will hold it just inside the near sideline. Looking to split Morel and Miyazaki. Rolls this one towards the center, and Loera will step up to clear. Knocked down at the midfield stripe by the 19, Salazar. Worked out wide to the right now. Ramirez, the captain. Direct towards Shears with her back to goal. Not able to handle it, but the ball comes free to Alvarez. Now looking to spring Shears on a diagonal. Splits 2 DVC defenders. Shears fires. Hernandez the stop. Important save here early, if for nothing else than for the momentum of this game here and the confidence of Bella Hernandez. Second Woodland shot, both of them so far on frame. Soboleski up the right side, rolls this in towards the right edge of the box. Cut out there by Camille Salazar. Pressure coming from Alina. Drop back to Pimentel. Forward to the center circle, in touch with the outside of the boot by Canchola. Morel will beat Leon to it on the foot race, but cannot handle it. Leon takes it away here at the near sideline. Now trying to spin Morel so she can work towards the left. Down towards the wing. A little bit of a step over. Morel interrupts it. Drop back to Canchola. Edging towards the edge of the 18. Still Canchola. Into the 18 with Rodriguez on her back. Now fires, and Canchola scores. An amazing solo effort for the number 10 in green. And in minute number 12, WCC have doubled their advantage. And it's the woman who played provider on the first one responsible for tallying the second. 2-0, the Eagles to the good here. Early days in Woodland, California. As we were telling you, Vikings had not conceded in the opening 30 minutes before, well, just now. Up till this point, it had been the middle 30 minutes that had been the issue. They were outscored there 6-1, and certainly the first thing that gave them confidence against Cabrillo was picking up the 2 goals in the early going in the 10th and the 15th on Tuesday. Second thing that gave them confidence was holding the line and not conceding during that middle chunk of the game. And the last thing was getting that goal right before halftime. Vikings with some rebuilding to do here in the early going. Sobolewski looking to work her way through the 16 on this near sideline. Rico. Bella Rico, one of a handful of players that had not seen game action that are on the roster. And my apologies, I don't think she is actually on my full roster. Here comes a cross in to the 18-yard box, touched away by Morel and wide of the goal, just barely. Looks like it did take a touch from a Woodland player as well in a bit of a crowd at the right side of the 6. Substitution time for the Eagles. Vikings will be glad to take a breath here. 13 minutes gone. Eagles 2, Vikings 0. Coming off will be the woman with the goal and assist so far on the day, Kayla Canchola. She is taken off by the number 7, Marissa Dessel, excuse me. And I must have misread the signal from the flag earlier. It's Yahaira Ramirez Padilla on a corner kick, first of the game, floated in towards the edge of the 6, headed and out wide. So far, Woodland 3 shots, 2 of them, I should say 4 shots, 3 of them on goal, 2 of them in the goal. Yet to see a foul called, that the day's first corner. Vikings to this point through 14 minutes, goose eggs on all those columns. Goal kick driven by Morel, knocked down by the 16, Rico. Her ball forward though for the newly inserted Dessel, intercepted for DVC by Loera. Unable to hold it, though, is Miyazaki. Out wide, right side from Tovar. Trying to find Ramirez Padilla. No such luck. Some nice one-touch football here for DVC to get the ball up the left side. Unable to hold it in play, though, is Hannah Walden. It'll go out in front of the Woodland player bench. We said DVC 1-2 on the season so far in matches played. They did have to forfeit their first 2 road games due to injuries and the resulting short roster. The one they are likely ruining the most is the road date at Yuba, after seeing what Cabrillo did to Yuba and what the Vikings in turn did to Cabrillo. Have to feel like if they'd had 2 more healthy bodies, might be sitting instead at a healthier looking 2-3 on the season instead of what is technically a 1-4 record all told. Angeli Huber at the center stripe forward, but splits the difference between Miyazaki, who's now playing center forward, and Sobolewski. Alina Rodriguez battling for it. It'll be taken away by Alina. Viking captain alongside Maila Hicks. Pushes the ball up the sideline and can't keep it in play, though, in front of Dessel. So it is Miyazaki now flanked by Sobolewski and Walden as the Vikings look for a little more security in the center. Alina Rodriguez, Angeli Huber in that midfield area. Ball whipped forward. Again, finds only the Woodland center backs, Pimentel. Up ahead, Ramirez Padilla on the right side from in front of Huber. Now forward towards Kenya Shears. Knocks that down with almost a scorpion kick. Claimed by Hicks. 2 defenders crash in on her. Sliding challenge will be the day's first foul as Shears goes in a little over aggressively on the Vikings left back, Amanda Robertson. Woodland continue to have everything currently sitting on the score sheet. 4 shots, 3 on goal, 1 foul, 1 corner. Loera will receive from Hannah Morel after the free kick. Pressure coming and the ball poked away by Marissa Dessel. All the way back to Bella Hernandez. Her clearance meets the chest of Valeria Leon. Drilled forward by Loera for the Vikings. Headed backward by Woodland. Claimed by Maila Hicks in the center. Maila forward for Miyazaki. Good one touch. Gets through Maila. Finds Alina Rodriguez. closed in upon, though, by 2 defenders. And now another ball forward in the direction of Shears. Knocked away by Hicks, and she'll get there before Dessel can try to feed another one across goal. Woodland so far looking very dangerous up front. Substitution authored here by Coach Alvarez. He will bring in Adeline Flores. Listed as a defender out of Pierce. She takes off Jennifer Alvarez. Although Flores does not seem to be working her way into a defensive zone. Immediately to the top left corner of the box as this throw-in comes in from the left wing of the attack. Ball pinging about inside the 18. It's finally Loera to clear after Rodriguez did well just to mind it and use her big body to box out. Soboleski on it now, forward for Miyazaki. Looks to get turned on the 20, Tovar. Spins through her, but ball carries too long. Salazar up with it. Up ahead for the 18, Ramirez Padilla. Forward looking for Shears. Punched away by Morel after Loera did well to muss things up a little bit on another attempted through ball. Clearance off the foot of a Woodland player is out just to the left of the DVC player benches. Our broadcast station across the way from the player benches today, so as to not potentially annoy an opposing team if we get to make some goal calls later. Maila Hicks on the ball, forward for Huber. Touches it through one defender, but straight to another. Valeria Leon, again looking for the launch deep for Dessel this time. Hernandez is out, and she claims. Told you before, the referees in the orange over black, Bella in yellow over black and black, Vikings in the road whites, Woodland in the home greens, and their keeper, Olivia Egan, in a gray shirt over black shorts and socks. Your full chromatic panorama. Miki Miyazaki claims a ball in the midfield but can't hold on to it. Ball dropped back now to the defensive line, Pimentel. A little bit of pressure from Soboleski, but held on to by the 20, Tovar. Up ahead for Ramirez. Blasted deep by Robertson. That'll end up in the DVC player bench. Another throw in to come here. 20 minutes gone in our opening half. If you're just joining us, goals in the 6th and 12th. One scored by Canchola, the other assisted by her, and off the boot of the likeliest suspect for the Eagles, Kenya Shears, her 5th of the season. Vikings looking to get that first shot directed towards goal, though so far have had a little trouble possessing for long periods of time. Rodriguez trying to apply pressure, but the ball worked out to the right side to Ramirez Padilla. Forward now for Shears at the edge of the 18. Back to goal. Pokes the ball in the direction of the substitute Flores. Mussed up by the DVC defense, and the clearance from Loera, though, is banked off of Ramirez. I believe a handball, though, and a free kick to come for the green and white. First time today, or this season, it's felt right calling them the green and white completely. It's been my nickname for DVC for going on 12 years now, but mostly been green and black to this point. Today, though, on the road, the white jerseys, the green DVC emblazoned across the front in the proprietary pointy font, a number where a crest would normally go on a European or MLS jersey, as the long ball from Morel will be held in by Emma Soboleski on the right side. Dribbles onto the softball infield here on this AstroTurf pitch. Has it taken away from her by the 16 Rico, but out for a Viking throw here in the attacking zone. Looking to get right in a game that has not started well for them and has probably been the single most destabilizing start they've had to a game in 2025. Rodriguez waiting on the throw-in. Has Miyazaki and Soboleski nearby. Goes to Mickey, who's got fewer defenders on her. Two of them crash in, though, and it's Adeline Flores taking the ball away. And now Valeria Leon bringing it forward. Finds the foot of Dessel. Tries to step around Loera. Loera slows her down. Now it's forward for Shears. And it's going to be Shears against Robertson here. Shears pushed out wide to the right side. Shears enters the 18. Now steps around to her left. Has a chance potentially to shoot. Player on her back now. Looks to touch it around another defender. And it's cleared off the line by the Vikings. It is Sofia Loera who dropped into place, and an attempted rip from the top of the 18 by Leon. And that will go wanting. 5 shots on goal so far for Woodland. Hernandez has had 4 on goal, I should say. 6 attempts, 4 on goal, 2 in the back of the net. Hernandez has had a stop, and now Loera with the goal line clearance. Shears had the Vikings keeper beaten But Sophia was in place to avoid this becoming a 3-0 result. Long drive in the direction of Soboleski, looking to keep it in play. Does. Has to reach out with a foot at full run. Pokes it down the right side. Looks like that will go over the back line, however, escorted by Camille Salazar. As we do here on DVC Vikings Live and live radio for that matter, a reminder of what's coming up this weekend at Diablo Valley College. Men's water polo in action at the Antilla tournament right now. They will, or not right now, but will be very soon again in Stockton, facing off with Cabrillo. Earlier today, we don't have a result just yet, but they did face off in their first match with Modesto, who's one of their conference mates. Football will be in action tomorrow against College of the Redwoods, and cross country at the Kyle Robinson Twilight Invitational tonight at Merritt, already in place, waiting for it to become Twilight. A lot of teams away from home. Next week it'll be DVC Soccer home sweet home in Pleasant Hill for a pair of games when they will host the De Anza Mountain Lions on Tuesday, followed by the West Valley Vikings on Friday. Both of those the standard 4 p.m. kickoff. We hope to have you around, but if you can't make it to Pleasant Hill, come on down and visit us here on DVC Vikings Live. That's going to bring about the first hydration break, as Coach Cailin Mullins described it to me. These hydration breaks on days that are over 85 degrees have almost turned soccer into a quarters-type sport. So, end of the first quarter, 2-0 Woodland, and we'll take a moment to hydrate here, and I will rue the fact that I already spent the DVC Vikings Live radio update on an earlier time where play wasn't stopped. But we're all going to hydrate here. Of course, if you are listening in here, oh, I see we're going to have see an unsettling thing that says the stream is not working. I'll have to see what's going on with that. I have no indication that it's not working. If there is anyone on the chat that can let me know if we do indeed have a problem, or if everything seems to be operational, I would appreciate it. Unfortunately for me, the only thing I can check it on is the thing that's got my internet working. But we will pause for just a moment here on the comms and make sure we've got an operational live stream. Okay, that's what I needed to hear. Phenomenal. So yeah, so if you are just joining us, it is a radio stream, if that's the concern at this point. We do not have video. We don't have strong enough bandwidth out here and cannot connect to the aerial camera, even though there are 2 of them recording the game presently. But if we do start having issues, by all means, I'll keep the chat window open so that I can be informed quickly. And I now have another person telling me it's not working. Those of you on the chat here, I would like clarification by what you mean that it's not working, because I've got folks here at the field that are listening to it and seem to be able to access it. If it's the absence of video, that's a feature, not a bug. At any rate, a throw-in coming here in the near future as we get ready to restart here at the Woodland Sports Park. Looks as though the ball will belong to Woodland when we restart here. Appreciate those chiming in and letting me know that all does seem to be well. Sam, I'm unclear on what the issue is, but maybe we can solve that another time. "30 seconds ain't bad for latency, all things told here. Back into action, the throw-in from Woodland up the right sideline is cleared away by Amanda Robertson. It will be another Woodland throw here in a moment as the Eagles got in that initial haymaker, the punch in the mouth, early goals from among the likelier suspects as the ball's poked away here. DVC looking to recover it in the defense. Forward, knocked down by Tovar. Now to the feet of Pimentel. Up ahead here for Valeria Leon inside the center circle, and a good step from Maila Hicks to take the ball away. Tries to feed it forward for the likes of Walden and the forward line. No dice, though. Woodland continue to operate very confidently on the ball. Alina Rodriguez putting some muscle into Valeria Leon, gets as good as she gave. Ball worked forward under the foot of Dessel. It'll be a Viking throw from the defensive third on the right side. Hannah Morell about to feed this one forward. Emma Soboleski has it pop up onto her chest, trying to work around the sub Adeline Flores, and now gets it forward in the direction of Miyazaki. Unable to hold it there is Miki, the sophomore out of EI High School in Hakodate, Japan. Ball forward directly from Woodland as Kenya Shears tried to get it under control. Well managed by Hannah Morell, out wide to the left side, looking for Hannah Walden, claimed there by Urbina. Out in front of the Woodland player bench after a touch from a Viking. Throw in to come for the homestanding Eagles. The throw in claimed by the Vikings. It's Miyazaki looking to go over the right side for Soboleski, and Emma, perhaps somebody you want to try and get it to the feet of a little more readily than having her run after it. Opportunity for the Vikings to make it tough if they choose, though, as the ball is out for a throw in very near the corner flag. That could well be the kind of turnover that you can live with, something that you can turn into better position. It is taken, however, to Salazar without a ton of pressure. Vikings do have to manage their energy with the absence of any available substitutes. Not having to manage her energy quite the same way as Kenya Shears, who claims the ball as it's driven deep from Camille Salazar. Amanda Robertson unable to clear, still working against the 11 in green. The shot from the right side is wide right of Bella Hernandez's goal. Another scary moment as Woodland author their 7th shot, 4th on frame. DVC at the moment having a tough time just possessing. The absence of Jocelyn Pelcastre, conditioning a lot of what DVC is able to do. Certain names haven't gotten called a ton over the course of these first few minutes. In fact, the thing I had not picked up on until I'm looking just now is that DVC are also playing, I believe right now, a woman down. I don't see Cami Regas out there. And that also a big part of what has forced a few of these substitutions. Ordinarily, I'd be right by the player bench and spot that immediately. But indeed, the Vikings are currently playing with just 10. Ball worked out to the left side here for the number 7, Marissa Dessel. Oh, heck of a fake to lose Hannah Morell, and now on a little bit of a dribble into the left side of the box, centrally for Shears, trying to work it off of Amanda Robertson, pops loose and is going to go over the back line. And the signal is corner kick. It'll be the 2nd of the day for Woodland. So indeed, it is Miyazaki and Walden up front. A midfield consisting now of Soboleski, Rodriguez, and one other player, and then a 4-woman backline. DVC now playing with 10 women, trying to get a foothold in today's game. They did concede the 2 early. There have been some opportunities since, but they have not given up another one. This, the chunk of the game where they have had their biggest struggles, outscored 6-1 in the middle 30 minutes of matches. Here comes the ball in, looking for Shears off the back of a Woodland player, falls near the penalty dot to Flores, comes loose for Dessel. Forced into retro, leaves that on the left wing now for the 18, Ramirez Padilla, who authored the original corner. Ball looped in now and headed clear by DVC. Ball looped in by Rico, headed away by Huber. Ball in the center circle, driven deep by Pimentel, reflected by Robertson for DVC. Hannah Walden on it. Nice little spin to get around Leon. who's switched sides now to the right wing of the Woodland attack. Perhaps a little bit of odd organization following the corner. And now cleared away. Viking throw to come in just a moment. So again, your current alignment, it is Huber, Rodriguez, basically Huber and Rodriguez in a two-woman midfield. Miyazaki center forward with Sobolewski and Walden on either side. And the usual defense, at least for today. Morel and Robertson bracketing Hicks and Loeta. Although I might argue, I think Hicks is now playing a little more as a left wing back. Loeta and Robertson shifting to the center. Tactical changes abound. Vikings without their usual right back and without the ability to sub, now also without one of their most technically gifted and soccer junkie midfielders in Kemi Regis. Throw in to come for Woodland from just in front of the Viking player bench, right side of their midfield. Thrown into the body of Adeline Flores, who defends against Huber, crawling up her back. Huber does well enough to liberate the ball, drop back to Alina. Up ahead now for Anjali. Forward looking to have Hannah Walden leak out. Hannah is going to get there, earns the byline, puts in a hard cross. Did that take a deflection? Indeed it did. It'll be DVC's first corner kick of the day. Of course, a point here where if you, no, correction. That's the second time I have misseen that signal, or that perhaps it's been overruled. It certainly looked like Armando Gutierrez pointed to the corner flag, but it's that's a little baffling. He definitely did not put his flag up straight the way I'm accustomed to for a goal kick. Must have been a decision by the center, Elaine Peña Garcia, to overrule that and deprive the Vikings of what would have been their first mark on my score sheet. Thus far, Woodland outshooting the Vikings 7-0, 4-0 on shots on goal, one Bella Hernandez save, one goal line clearance by Sofia Loera, and of course, two that have hit the twine. Two Woodland corners, one foul committed as well by the Eagles. Ball here at the near sideline earned by Hernandez, but as it comes free, good step by the 16 Rico to take it away. And here's oh goodness gracious, mismanaged by a pair of DVC defenders. It's going to be Hannah Morel forced to clear. The ball stays here on the left wing, but both Robertson and Loeta had a whack at it. Here comes the cross in by Dessel from the left side. Cleared and out for a throw-in off the boot of Loeta. Both of them had the ball, possibly with a bit of spin on it, take a funky deflection. DVC lucky that it didn't fall kindly to anyone in green. Ball headed away here off the throw-in, claimed by Conchola, who's back into the game for Max Alvarez's side. She lofts one towards the right wing. It will be held by Kenya Shears just inside the 18-yard box. Drop back for a cross to the far post from the top right corner. It's too long for everybody. Knocked down by Natalie Moncada and cleared partially by DVC. Reclaimed by Rico. Flores. Conchola, about 35 yards from goal. She loads up the ball. A glancing header from Kenya Shears, and it will in fact go down as a shot on goal, but probably the most domesticated or domesticatable one we've seen so far. Easily taken by Bella Hernandez. Long ball knocked down by Huber and now claimed by Rodriguez. Forward trying to find Walden, but it's too central. Blasted away by Pimentel. Shears and Robertson battling for the header. Neither one wins it. Comes free here. Now on the foot of Shears after a couple touches from Dessel, looking for a teammate. Out wide, Flores. And now the ball forward is intercepted. Here comes DVC up the other side. Maila Hicks on it. Maila forward for Miyazaki with her back to goal. Drops it into the center circle, and here comes Anjali. Anji touches it around one defender. Anji, top of the 18, steps around a second, and it's taken away in a slide tackle from just in front of her as she was about to enter the 18. What an individual effort from Anjali Huber. Beat a pair of defenders with some absolutely delightful fakes left and right. It'll be a throw-in from about 20 to 25 yards from goal. Near sideline, right side of the DVC attack, Alina Rodriguez on it. Sobolewski moving into the wing. She will look to receive as it just does get over the foot of Rico, but Bella Rico able to recover. Ball now driven deep by Ramirez Padilla, and that's going to find Shears at the midfield stripe. Nice little touch to herself over the top of Robertson. Does have to slow up, though, and gives Amanda a chance to get to it. Still Robertson working on it. Hicks the double. The ball dropped back to Ramirez Padilla. Forward straight to the body of Alina Rodriguez. Drilled by Robertson, claimed by Huber. In the center circle, Miyazaki trying to feed Sobolewski up the right side, reflected by Rico. Claimed here by Alina. Attempted clear, that's got some serious English on it. Held in by Moncada. Rodriguez takes it away, pushes it up the right side, tries to work her way through the 16 Rico, no dice. Ball comes free to Moncada. Ball centrally. Hicks got a touch, but it does filter through to Flores. Adeline Flores, 25 yards from goal, now sprays it wide to the right side for Ramirez. Ramirez from the top right corner, toward the penalty dot. Shears not able to get to it, touched away by a DVC defender, Morel. It's now Adeline Flores inside the half moon, trying to get it under control. Drops back for Canchola. Canchola, edge of the 18, fires, looking for the top right corner, but that will go wide on the 9th Woodland shot. It was tough to know coming up here what form of Woodland we might see. It's a team that did pick up a 4-0 win on opening day against, or 4-1 I believe it was, against College of the Redwoods. Had since lost a pair, including one to perennial Big 8 doormat Sacramento City. Of course, Vikings coming off some great football on Tuesday. Had to feel like they were going to have a good shot here, but I think they are seeing, first and foremost in the early portion of the game, the difference that it made to have Pelcastre and the ability to sub at least someone. Of course, they have been playing now for what seems like about a half hour, missing one of their key cogs as the ball's worked forward from Moncada in search of Dessel. It looks like it took a deflection from a Viking, and it'll be a corner kick. This will be coming in from the left side as we approach the final 5 minutes of play. Of course, there will be a little bit added back on for the earlier hydration break. Our clock here on DVC Vikings Live Radio did not come to a stop during that break. It'll be Yahaira Ramirez Padilla to put this one in, near post, filtering through, nearly comes free for Adeline Flores, but a wall of Vikings able to get rid of it, and I think it's Alina Rodriguez that finally gets the touch away. Ball now at the midfield stripe, just outside the center circle. Dribbling laterally is the 19, Camille Salazar. Wide right side for Urbina. Her ball into the midfield, reflected by DVC and claimed now by the Vikings on the left side. On the dribble is Walden. She looks to put one centrally. Sobolewski looking to get stuck in with Rico. Rico clears, and now the ball taken away by Rodriguez in the center circle. Nice touch to dispossess Flores. Tries to work her way around Rico, who continues to be a brick wall to Vikings attacks. Comes free to Hicks in the middle of the center circle, now drifting out wide right. Morel puts it on her left, now looks to split a couple defenders, and she's found Huber lurking out. Here comes Angie. Angie! Goal! Angie! 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 Huber! Hard to think of a better way to finish off a half than getting a short-handed goal, and it's, of course, the most likely suspect, Angeli Huber, this time with Hannah Morel on the assist, as she gives DVC the lifeline they have been searching for. Morel with a beautiful diagonal ball. She settled that one here at the near the near sideline, got across the midfield stripe, and went diagonal to Huber, who was lurking and waiting to make her run. at about the width of the left side of the half moon. Everybody turned and looked at the AR on our side, Armando Gutierrez, to see if that flag was going to come up. Woodland pleadingly. Myself and everybody in white and black today hoping for nothing of the sort. Flag stayed down. Huber stayed cool. Beats Egan. The Vikings' first shot on goal is a productive one, and it's 2-1 here in Woodland with 3 minutes to go in the half. Ball cleared here, and the Vikings claim it at the midfield stripe. Maila Hicks trying to work her way forward, dispossessed though. Comes free to Canchola. Canchola up the right side looking for another newly inserted player, Alana Dawkins. Amanda Robertson comes to it, plays that out, does not get it to touch off the 8 in green. Throw in to come for Woodland. As our clock here on DVC Vikings Live Radio about to come to a stop at the 2-minute mark. I've heard some comments, by the way, on some of the earlier live streams. That is an intentional thing. That's what happens to stadium clocks all over community college soccer. Referee has final jurisdiction, doesn't want a horn going off and distracting or confusing people. Ball played out here after the throw-in off the boot of Maila Hicks. Another throw to come from the right side here. Throw-in comes to Adeline Flores. Good work by Alina to get her body between the 9 in green and the ball. Clearance will find Emma Soboleski. A jumping attempt by Rico to claim it. She does manage to play it off of Emma. Throw in to come here for Woodland. Miyazaki continues to be the lone isolated forward here as the throw-in goes over the head of Kenya Shears and will be claimed by Bella. Wallen and Soboleski bracketing Miyazaki as the center forward, as physical battle between Alina Rodriguez and the number 9 in green, Adeline Flores, results in a Viking throw-in here at the near sideline. Soboleski trying to touch it through Rico. Rico does well under pressure from Soboleski and Miyazaki to find Canchola. Playing a deep-lying midfield position, forward in the direction of Moncada, who touches that around the arrival of Robertson. Headed straight into the ground by Sofia Loera. Struggling with a bounding ball, trying to get it under control. It comes free for the 7 Dessel. Drop back for Dawkins. Touched away here at the far sideline by Hicks. Ball forward. Taken away for a moment from Walden by Urbina, but out for a Viking throw just in front of their player bench. I'll say, Sam Huber, I hope that the stream was working for you about 3 or 4 minutes ago, as I assume your girl taking care of business, getting the Vikings one back here just prior to the break. Throw in is to Hicks, straight back to Robertson, who hoofs it forward. Knocking it down is Miyazaki, about 30 yards from goal, comes to a stop in front of Rico. Drop back and unfortunately finds the feet of Adeline Flores. Good work by Morel, though, to hold her up. Ball worked forward, and nice by Moncada to touch it around Hicks. Here comes Moncada, going up the left side. Shears has gotten alone, enters the 18. Shears fires, and it gets through Bella Hernandez for a third. Looked like Shears had shot it a little too centrally, but unable to get enough behind it was Isabella Hernandez. And in stoppage time, Woodland make it 3. And that substantially takes the wind out of the sails of the green and white here. So it looked as though they had that one back. That was going to be the last statement. Instead, it is essentially the final kick of the first half that leads to Woodland reasserting that 2-goal advantage. An early couple punches in the mouth in the form of those goals in the 6th and the 12th. DVC sustain the final 30-odd minutes of that half with just 10 women on the field in the absence of Cami Regis. They get one back, but unable to close out the half strong as Shears now has a brace, and Woodland back on top by 2. We're going to do what we usually do here on DVC Vikings Live and DVC Vikings Live Radio and turn you over to Dave Hughes and the beat of Diablo for our halftime entertainment. Hope you enjoy. We'll be back here in 15 through 45. Your score, 3-1 Eagles.
This is the beat. This is the beat. The beat of Diablo with Dave Hughes.
Hey there, local sports fans. This is Dave Hughes, the producer and host of the weekly local music program, The Beat of Diablo, broadcasting on FM radio at 90.5 KVHS and on television at Comcast 26. Here now are some select cuts from this week's episode, handpicked by your DVC Vikings live announcer, Joe Hickey. To catch this week's episode in full, visit thebeatofdiablo.com for local listings.
This is the beat. The beat of Diablo's DVC Vikings Live halftime show.
I've been picking up fed apples, trembling my nerves and this. Before they cut the lights, the flicker will right along. Last hour's falling loose and I don't know what to do. See legs from the batteries that take me for a fool. Don't need a sign my decisions. I can give you my lesson now. Piecing back my shattered precision before I fall. Somewhere the sky moves sliding. Somewhere so light. New hour takes its toll and I know just what I choose. Delete and flattering, I'm fool. Don't need a sign my decisions. I can give you a lesson now. Piecing back my shattered precision before it falls. Last hour's falling loose and I don't know what to do. See legs from the batteries that take me a fool. Don't need your sign my decisions. I can give you a lesson now. Piecing back my shattered precision before it falls.
I'll suit it up and then take the plunge. Family out on your refund sponge. Piss it off on the locals, cause you're sitting too far inside. Falling into water, you start to convince. Something's off your sixth sense. Thought it was just a legend until your worlds collide. See that outlaw now, on the run. Live fast or young. I check your bullet and it up into the setting sun. I hate my world. Try to get another wave, but it's too late. She got a sense of new time to regulate. Time to decide, will you fight or run? One
welcome back here. Thanks again to the always generous Dave Hughes, pillar of the Concord Rock City music community, as we are underway here in half number 2. DVC trailing 3-1, courtesy of a pair of goals from Kenya Shears and one from Kayla Canchola. We'll give you the scoreboard in just a moment, but we are off to the races immediately as the ball's worked down towards the byline. Canchola looking for a cross, cleared out the back by Alina Rodriguez in retro, and it'll be the 4th corner kick of the day here for Woodland. Max Alvarez's charges. We told you at the very start of the day that Kenya Shears had 4 of their 6 goals on the season. Anjali Huber, 5 of the 6 for DVC. In the first half, 4 goals, 3 of them scored by those 2 players. And we'll tell you more about what's going on elsewhere in DVC athletics when the time comes. Right now, that corner kick fed in hard towards the left side of the 6-yard box, reflected by DVC. It'll be right back out the back. And we'll reload it for corner kick number 5. This one in again towards the top of the 6-yard box. Popped up in the air by a DVC defender. Soboleski trying to get rid of it, but it is reclaimed by Jennifer Alvarez. Here comes the ball in, knocked away from just in front of Shears by Loetta. Popped up with the head of Canchola. She fires, and it's straight into the breadbasket of Bella. Your halftime stats were 10 shots and 6 of them on frame for Woodland to 1 apiece for the DVC Vikings. 1 foul committed by Woodland. It's the only one in today's game, and they had all 3 corner kicks so far already. A shot on goal, and 2 corner kicks for Woodland. It's now DVC at the other end as Emma Soboleski tries to work her way through Bella Rico. Well done by the number 16 in green to claim it, but her attempt to make space is going to carry the ball out of play on the far sideline. DVC now attacking right to left across your radio dial. Of course, in the road, white over black and white socks. Woodland in the head-to-toe home green strip. Ball protected by Hannah Morell and then poked out for another Viking throw, this time about 30 yards from goal. This is going to work its way towards the top of the 18, under the reach of one Woodland player, and then cleared from in front of the 17, Miki Miyazaki. This will be a DVC throw from their own half now. Vikings forced to play, at the very least, the time after the first hydration break, if not a solid half hour, without the services of Cami Regas, and she remains out of the game as we get second half action started. So DVC have been a woman down since at least about minute number 25. Maybe earlier than that. They conceded twice early, as they now take a ball away off the long throw-in, and it's going to be fed across and a shot on goal, but a slipping Anjali Huber as she let rip with that from the top right corner of the box. Quick whistle as Mr. Peña Garcia went to check on the condition of the Vikings' number 7. Brief stoppage of play, and now a drop for Egan for the Vikings. Their second shot on goal, both of them courtesy of Huber. First one, the goal in the 42nd minute that seemed like it was going to change the entire tenor of the match as we approached halftime. That one's out, last touched by the 18 Yahaira Ramirez Padilla, captain for this Woodland side, as she was in battle with Alina Rodriguez. Ball forward for Huber. Drop back towards Alina, again out off of Ramirez. Ramirez doing the classic rolled up sleeves tank top look for her green Woodland jersey as the ball's through the legs of Alina on purpose, and Ramirez, as a result, briefly claimed by DVC, and now in the center circle, worked forward by Jennifer Alvarez. Launched towards the left side, overrun by the arrival of Valeria Leon, cleared up the right side by DVC, but unable to hold on to it at the midfield stripe. It's now the 20, Tovar, working on Maila Hicks over towards the left flank of the attack, nearing the corner flag. May have touched it too far. Nope. Brings it under control near the flag. Maila gets a touch to it. Out for a throw-in. As we told you, of course, upcoming action. Men's water polo have already played one game today at the Ben Antilla tournament in Stockton. That a 12-11 loss to Modesto. They're in action tonight against Cabrillo and tomorrow against to-be-determined adversaries. Kyle Robinson Twilight Invitational tonight at Merritt College, where Vikings cross country will be, and of course football tomorrow on the road in Eureka at College of the Redwoods. We'll be telling you a little more about individual programs over the course of our second half here, but the action at the moment is a ball over on the left side. Throw in, punched forward by Conchola, and now reflected by the Vikings defense. It's going to wind up back out almost in the same spot. Much ado about nothing as it works out. It's a nice prolonging of that initial throw-in by Conchola. Reached out with the tip of her foot. Ball crossed in. That finds Shears. It's going to go out wide right. It looks like it found a DVC player instead. Sixth corner kick coming up here for Woodland. So cross from about 40 yards away from far left, taking aim at Shears at the penalty dot. Vikings defender got a foot to it first. Here comes the corner from the right side. This floating in towards the penalty dot, met with the head of Ramirez Padilla, but out wide. It'll go down as the 12th shot. 7 of them on frame for Woodland so far, and 3 in the back of the net. That Shears goal, absolutely a dagger, and tough to fully blame Bella Hernandez for that one. I was talking with Nick Soboleski here, who's in attendance in Woodland at the break, and just discussing how lightning quick this field is. It's basically a carpet. Oh, here's a bounding ball. It's going to come free to Shears. Good work, though, by Sofia Loera to body her off and give Bella Hernandez time to come out and claim it. That had the eerie look of a hat trick for a moment there as Bella drop kicks this one in the direction of Anjali. Prolongs it for Alina. Stamped away by Tovar. Back on it now, Huber. Absorbs a shove from Moncada. The ball out, no foul given either way. It'll be a Viking throw, though. Walden and Soboleski on either side of Miyazaki in what remains an attacking trident, albeit with Walden and Soboleski tucking in a little bit closer to the midfield than they might have if they had 3 in that center area. Rodriguez and Huber, your midfielders. Robertson, the one with the throw, trying to find her captain, Alina. Last touched by Rodriguez as it goes out for a Woodland throw now, about 30 yards from goal on the right side. To the foot of Conchola, who knocks it over her own head. Big bounding ball that is going to carry over the top of Hernandez and over the back line. That was an interesting little move by Conchola. Knew that Shears was up there. Had her back to goal as she received the throw-in. Took it off her chest and then immediately punted it behind her head. Looking for the element of surprise. Goal kick is a hard one toward the left side. Knocked down by Conchola again. She looks for the cross towards the far post. It's going to be a little too quick for Jennifer Alvarez. And it's out for no harm. Little fear there for a moment as we look to tell you a bit about DVC football, who have now gone to top 10 in the state of California with their win over American River in that shootout in their home opener. Kai Taylor, 5 receptions for 145, although we're going to wait for just a second here as DVC develop an attack. A cross in from Walden, but it's not got quite enough curl to let Miyazaki run onto it. Egan claims and will drill it deep. Met on the fly by Morel with the foot, but not able to find happy feet. That's going to go out for a throw-in for Woodland, and Morel needs a moment. As she has gone down following that, and the Vikings can ill afford to lose anybody else at this point. Met that ball on the fly, and you wonder if she didn't quite have her foot locked. Perhaps absorbed more of that torque into the joint than intended. Trainer is out to talk with her. Rolls to sit down for a moment. Now gets back to her feet, and is walking under her own power now. So that's good news to see right there. A brief scare here for Hannah Morel, 18-year-old defender and midfielder out of Marine Christian. She heads straight to the trainer's table, and so we'll see if DVC bring Cami Regas back into the fray just to avoid going down 2 women, or if they are going to have to play with just 9 out there for a little while. And it does seem Regas is going to come out, break glass in case of emergency. We'll finish up with our discussion of football here very briefly. Kai Taylor, though, the big star offensively on Saturday last week. 5 receptions for 145 and 3 of the touchdowns thrown by Kalani McLeod. Good work from the defense as well. Santino Acevedo and player of the week, Davian Sherlock. Absolute menaces against ARC. So you can see them tomorrow in Eureka on YouTube, in all likelihood, unless you're making a long drive. But Jimmy Collins' men off to a stirring start to the 2025 campaign. They'll be at home next against Foothill. That, I believe, the Friday a week from today. No need to take my word for it, though. You can always check at dvcvikings.com, your source for all things green and white, to see for sure. Back in action here. Morel still getting treatment. Cami Regas into the Vikings roster, as this one's going to skew wide of us here at the commentary position off the boot of the other captain, the 15, Luciana Pimentel. Different styles from the various captains out here. Maila Hicks wears hers just above the elbow with the sleeves rolled up, very similar to what Yahaira Ramirez Padilla is doing, the number 18. Pimentel's one of those ones that wears it on her shin guard, the pink captain's armband. Alina, meanwhile, doesn't seem to be wearing hers. Or if she is, it's hidden. Kenya Shears in pursuit of a ball up the right wing, but Amanda Robertson will protect that. Goes out for a Viking throw. DVC nearing the end of that time that has been the bugaboo for them this season so far. As we told you, they'd been outscored 6-1 in the middle 30 minutes. Today, stalemate, 1-1. With just 2.5 minutes left in that chunk of time as the ball forward touched by Cami Regas off of her foot. Quick throw in taken here by the 3, Urbina. Moncada comes down with it, enters the 18, threads one forward for Shears, who is in an offside position as she gets tangled up and tries to shoot under pressure from Alina Rodriguez. Flag up, though, from Armando Gutierrez, and that attack will come to an end there. With Morel presently out of the proceedings, it does appear that the Vikings back line, it's either shifted or they've decided to just go with a 3-3-3 for the time being. Yeah, it seems that they've decided on that. They just don't currently have that left back. I guess you're going to probably see those wings in the midfield pull back as necessary. Ball in possession in the center circle of Anna Tovar, rather, of Woodland College. Worked out wide to the left side. Valeria Leon looking to take on Loera on the dribble. Sofia able to win that battle. Bashed up ahead, and Soboleski, one of those players who's pulling back when necessary with DVC out of possession. Throw in is just past the head of Anjali Huber. Reflected and out, last touched by Green. Throw in DVC. Throw in headed by a West Valley player, Conchola. Comes to the foot of Rodriguez, but she's not able to find a teammate. Back to Conchola, over the top, looking for Shears, leaking out on the right side of the box. Amanda Robertson heads it away, brought down by Hannah Walden. Walden comes to a stop, tries to push that through the arrival of Moncada. Moncada gets a touch to it. Walden fires it forward off Urbina. Throw in to come here for the Vikes. We'll take a look here at another one of the programs recently to put up a bit of good news, and that is DVC Volleyball picking up their first win of 2025 over Contra Costa College in the Classic held on Wednesday. In that one, Kaya Ferreira pictured there, 10 kills and 13 digs, so an offensive-defensive weapon for the Vikes as they claim that straight sets victory over their district mates. Another throw-in reflected out by Maila Hicks. Woodland continue to possess here on the right side. And that match against Columbia, 3-1, but closer than it looks. Take a good look there. Columbia won the first set, DVC won the second, and the third one and fourth one both went down to the point of being tied 23-23 at some point. And so could have easily broken either way. Not quite the same story against Ohlone earlier today in their last try tournament of this pre-conference season. They're facing off right now here on DVC Athletics YouTube page against College of the Siskiyous, and next week on Wednesday at 6 they will be hosting San Joaquin Delta for the opening day of Big 8 play. That also on the DVC Vikings YouTube page. Ball remains with Woodland. Long throw in towards the box. It's going to come free for Kenya Shears. Tries to shoot it. Can't get good contact to it. And on the second bite at the apple, I think it's her teammate Marissa Dessel who pushes it wide right. But apparently with a deflection, and so another corner kick coming. 13th Woodland shot, 8 of them on frame. That one blocked at point blank range. Corner from the right side, drilled in towards the 6, headed away by Angie Huber, who stoops to get to it. Samantha Urbina keeps it in play at the edge of the 18, drops it back, and it's a looping ball off the boot of Tovar, reaches the head of Kenya Shears, who completes her hat trick. The flag stays down, and it's 4-1. Just outside that bugaboo time for the Vikings, Woodland managed to add a fourth. Tovar gets credited with the assist on that one, although I'm not quite sure how much she knew about it. That looked like an attempted shot that went well high. But it gets the job done, and that's how it'll go down on the score sheet. 4-1, Woodland now on top. Vikings, a group of walking wounded at the moment, eschewed the trip up to Yuba 2 weeks ago for concern about a shorthanded team trying to play in the heat. It's not quite as hot this week, but this is, I think, what the worry was. Lose an important player in Cami Regas, who is moving gingerly out on the field just to prevent the Vikings from being down to 9 players. Here comes Woodland again up the left side. Sofia Loera cuts out the arrival of Valeria Leon. Miyazaki trying to knock it down to the midfield stripe, comes to Tovar. Up ahead for Leon in the flank. And touched away by the backtracking Cami Regas. Ball launched deep. Pimentel able to handle it well. Took a couple of bites of the apple to handle it as she finally does drill it deep off the chest of Alina Rodriguez. Not able to hold it. Drop back to Alvarez. Canchola in the vicinity, but it's on the foot of Dessel as she works to the right side rather. Earns the byline, touches it off of Robertson. It'll be another corner. 8th of the day. For Kenya Shears, goals number 5, 6, and 7 of this season. It's tallied multiple times in both victories as well as in one of the losses. This her first hat trick of the season, though, as the cross comes in on the corner kick, knocked down from just in front of Dessel. That off the boot of Jennifer Alvarez. Vikings trying to escape with it here. It's Miyazaki, centrally for Regas. Regas trying to give Soboleski something to run onto up the right wing. Little too central. Camille Salazar will come down with it. Central for Ramirez. Left side Salazar. Pimentel and Urbina, the rest of that back line for Woodland. At the moment, Valeria Leon coming forward, studied. Still Leon. Still Leon steps through a Viking defender, now into the half moon. Still Leon now moving laterally, and it's touched away by the arrival of Hicks and Robertson. Here's a shot from distance off the restart. Alvarez looking for the top left corner and does not find it. Slight sigh of relief here for the green and white, at least the ones that drove here from Pleasant Hill. Substitution time here for Coach Alvarez as he's going to swap keepers. And I will admit, this is going to be a tough one for me to figure out the identity of, unless it is a unique number, because this team has 5 goalies. And I was told Olivia Egan was the starter. She's listed as number 22, but was wearing the 00. This is now the single 0, which, to my understanding, would mean it's the freshman out of Davis, Alexa Asensio. But I will admit that is something of a guess, given that we've already seen the numbers don't necessarily correspond to reality. I think the Vikings right now feel about the Eagles, as that one is shot and takes a deflection. Out comes Hernandez, and she looks to beat the newly reinserted Alana Dawkins to it. Ends up being a little bit of a battle, but eventually Bella does use the hands and claim the ball. I was about to say that I think the Vikings might feel about the Eagles today the same way that my hometown Baltimore Orioles feel about the LA Dodgers when they look at the number of injured pitchers the Orioles have and the fact that they could probably make use of the Dodgers' 8th or 9th starting pitcher. DVC's got to feel the same way, forced for a second year running to convert a field player into a goalkeeper. Meanwhile, here up in Woodland, they got 5 of them. Throw in from the Eagles back to Tovar, who had the assist on the most recent tally, the one that completed the Kenya Shears hat trick. Comes a ball in, splits the difference of Dawkins and Dessel, cleared away partially by DVC, now back to Dessel off the foot of Alvarez. Dessel trying to get loaded up for a shot and rings it off the crossbar. 14th attempt in the direction of the frame, technically not shot on goal number 9. DVC struggling to clear as a big swing from Walden is going to carry back into the box. Dawkins with an arm in the back of Maila Hicks, nothing sanctioned. It'll finally be Alina Rodriguez to clear it. Vikings came in today with 11 healthy players. They look as though they might leave with 9, although Cami Regas, it appears, just trying to avoid aggravating an injury, but nothing that kept her completely out of game action. Rodriguez forward here for Miyazaki, who claims it in the midfield. Now looks for Huber, touches it around one defender. Carries too far, though. Cut out by Tovar. Morel, meanwhile, with an injury picked up, bringing down a goal kick earlier. Forced to leave the field of play, and that's why Regas is back out there. Regas, Rodriguez, and Huber, your midfield at the moment, in what is presently a 3-3-3 formation. Soboleski trying to do battle with Ramirez, unable to hold on to the ball. Drilled deep and skews funny off the foot of Hicks. Brought down by Dawkins out wide to the right side. That'll force Dessel all the way over to the sideline. Brings it down, though, on the right wing. Dawkins with her, almost authoring a pick. Now left for Dawkins. Dawkins on the dribble. Gazelle legs out towards the edge of the half moon. Ball comes free off of her foot. Popped into the stratosphere by Adeline Flores. And that will be time for the hydration break here. And we'll take that opportunity to continue our trip around the horn. Look at men's water polo, 5-4 now on the season. They did get started winning 5 of their first 6. Hot start continued on the first day in Saratoga last weekend as they obliterated Merced 20-4 behind 5 goals and an assist from Keegan Darcy. They followed that up with a 22-7 victory over Santa Monica. Joe Greer leading scorer in that one with 4 goals. 3 apiece from Donovan Swan and Patrick Aiello, but they do fall to that first defeat of the weekend against the hosts from West Valley, and then fell in another close one against Laverne. And so far, close games have been kind of the way of it for Corey Dolly. All 3 of the 4 losses they've sustained have been 1-goal defeats. They lost their very last one of the opening tournament in Riverside. They lose the last one in Saratoga to Laverne, and they lose their opener earlier today against Modesto in the Ben Antilla tournament in Stockton by a single goal, 12-11. But they are also looking forward to the beginning of Big 8 play in the very near future. That will be on the 24th of September, so a week from this coming Wednesday, when both they and the women will host a doubleheader against Modesto Junior College. But before that, a big tournament going on next weekend will be hosted at DVC in honor of recently deceased head coach Jack Flanagan. So we do look forward to that. Might have some live streams here if the department can get it underway. I unfortunately am going to be out of town at that time. Otherwise, I'd probably be the one bringing it to you live alongside Chris Koblich. But do come on down to the pool, honor a great man and a legend of DVC Aquatics, and be there to cheer on water polo in person for the first time this season, as neither the men nor the women have been able to play in the friendly confines of the DVC Aquatic Center just yet. One last team in action this weekend, and that's tonight at the Kyle Robinson Twilight Invitational at Merritt College, and that's cross country. They opened their season on Saturday last at the Crush Invitational in Fresno, hosted by Clovis Community College, hence the Crush part of it there. But Clovis, that will be the site of both the NorCal Championships and the State Championships this season, so that went down as the preview for those two meets. Elena Mendez and Marcus Jackson, the two top finishers for the green and white, as they finished in decent percentiles of rather large fields there, as everybody wanted to get that first look at the courses that will be hosting those two important meets later on this season. We hope to have some results for you from the Kyle Robinson Twilight when we see you next here on DVC Vikings Live. And a reminder here of what else you'll be getting recapped: the water polo at the Antilla Tourney, and of course football at Redwoods tomorrow afternoon, 3 p.m. in Eureka. Here in Woodland, it's been a tough go. Vikings got punched in the mouth early. Kenya Shears and Kayla Canchola combining for a pair of goals. In the very, very early going, Vikings' modus operandi to this point had been not conceding inside the opening 30 minutes, forced to play from behind early for the first time this year, and then forced to do it soon thereafter, perhaps at that point or maybe after the hydration break, forced to deal with just 10 women on the field with the absence of Cami Regas for the remainder of that half. Shockingly, without Cami, they managed to play Woodland to level terms. Scored a lovely counter-attacking goal created by the combination of Morell and Huber. Second time those two have hooked up to score for the green and white. Made it 2-1. Seemed like it was going to be a joyful halftime and a lot of hope, despite the numerical disadvantage. And unfortunately for DVC, they concede just on the final kick of that half. We're back underway here, and it's the ball is on the boot of Cami Regas, who takes aim from about 30 yards away, just wide of the goal, now patrolled by Alexa Asensio. For the Vikings, just their third shot, first one not on frame. Just a handful of minutes ago, just before the hydration break, Shears completing her hat trick, meeting a bounding ball off the boot of Anna Tovar with the head to put it in. Hannah Morell back into the action, and so I believe for the first time here in this final quarter of an hour or thereabouts, Vikings back at full strength with 11 on the pitch. Morell back in, Regas able to go. Hicks on the ball right now, forward for Miyazaki, who's back into the midfield. Angie Huber back into the center forward role. DVC lose possession, though, in the center. It's going to be bit of good work by first Alina, then Regas to put pressure on the midfield, and it does finally come free in the center circle to Miki Miyazaki. Lifted to the right side for Morell. Tries to keep that in play under the pressure of Adeline Flores, who takes it off of her. Morell back onto it, pokes it through the arrival of Canchola. But it is now the 10 in green on it. A goal and an assist so far today for her. Ball in toward the center. Good work by Alvarez to resist the arrival of Miyazaki. Forward for Dessel. Steps around Robertson. And now at the half moon. Now entering the 18. Looking for the toe poke as she continues to battle for that ball. And it's some brilliant work by the DVC defense and their physicality. First Loetta, then Hicks to keep Dessel from ever getting a shot away. Hernandez picks it up and brings an end to that threat. Long ball from Hernandez. Knocked down by Hicks. Rodriguez on it. fed by her own captain. That one rattling around in the chest and nearly seemed to be the hands of Alvarez. Nothing given. Rodriguez tumbles to ground under a challenge. Nothing for the referee. Adeline Flores forward, cut out by Rigas. Now to Morel, leaking out the right side, trying to put one forward in the direction of Huber. She does get to it. Now pokes it into the right wing and looks to run onto it. Has a bit of a foot race here to try to win with Pimentel. Luciana completely happy to just drive that one out for a Viking throw on the sideline as we enter the final quarter of an hour here. And DVC look for a little something to build on at full strength in preparation for their Tuesday game against De Anza. Throw in is whipped in hard towards the 6-yard box. Miyazaki just barely unable to beat Alexa Asensio to it. Gonna underline the at the end of that, so I stopped trying to call her Alexis. Throw in, or rather the ball rolled to the feet of Camille Salazar. Route 1 in the direction of Dawkins. At the top of the center circle, leaves that now for Dessel. Knocks this one back behind both Canchola and Dawkins, but good hard work by Adeline Flores to retake the ball. Drop back for Canchola just outside the 18. DVC able to flick it away from the 10 in green, and Loera clears it to the midfield stripe, immediately reflected straight back out the back. Substitution time here for Woodland as they'll take off Jennifer Alvarez, the freshman forward out of Dixon, as well as Canchola. 3-goal lead. They'll look for some fresh legs out there. Moncada and Leon back into the match. Goal kick is going to be prolonged by Amanda Robertson. Leon settles it though, 40 yards from goal. Drop back towards Flores, and now launched forward by Salazar. Brought down by Dessel. Dessel has it taken away by the foot of Maila Hicks. Pop towards the left side here by Robertson. Brings that forward for Miyazaki. Mickey finds Cami Rigas. Good ball through a couple of lines. Now looking for Huber. Huber looks to have a step briefly on Salazar. Now throws her body into that challenge. No foul either way. Salazar will put it out on the left side. Throw in DVC. Walden coming up to take that as she seems to be in that left midfielder role. Brought back to Walden off the head of Huber and straight back out for a throw. Bit of a tough ball to handle there, and Walden not able to keep it in. Throw in over the top of both Robertson and Dessel. Hicks not able to keep it in play. Out though for another Woodland throw. As we told you, coming up here in the land of the green and white, pair of home games next week, the last 3 matches of non-conference play, all in the friendly confines of Pleasant Hill. They'll be facing off with De Anza on Tuesday, as well as the West Valley Vikings on Friday, as that one's headed out just to the left of me by Amanda Robertson. Another chase for Woodland to go retrieve. And they'll finish up non-conference play against Las Positas College on Tuesday the 23rd, I believe that is. And it does appear that the search for win number 200 is going to have to wait at least one more day, or one more game. De Anza, a team that the Vikings in the past have had some good luck against, but they will still potentially be a bit on the shorthanded side. I think they expect back Jocelyn Pelcastre for that one, so they'll at least have some subs. And hopefully Rigas and Morel will be feeling a bit closer to 100% by that point. Maila Hicks receives a ball at the midfield stripe, now out wide left looking for Walden. Up, kicking it into the auxiliary goals to our left. is the 15, Pimentel. Throw in from Walden right back to Pimentel, but that comes back to Walden. On the ground looking for Regis, but can't quite find her teammate. Long ball over the top on the clearance is going to favor Dessel to beat Robertson to it. Here comes Dessel, edge of the 18, rolls that in the direction of Dawkins. Takes a deflection. Dawkins has it at the half moon, fires that in on the ground, and Bella Hernandez down and to her right makes the stop. 16 Woodland shots today to DVC's 3. 9-2 the shots on goal count. 4 in the back of the net. 4 Hernandez stops. 1 goal line clearance off those 9 shots on frame. And of course, they've also hit the woodwork once. Substitution as Bella Rico will come back into the match for Coach Alvarez. Taking off Sam Urbina, or perhaps not. Now backpedaling and maybe not coming in after all. Or just waiting for Urbina to get there. That seems to be what that was all about. Throw in to come in a moment here for Luciana Pimentel inside the final 10 minutes of action today. Vikings will have a nice long break to potentially incorporate new players before the Big 8 season gets underway. They finish, as we told you, non-conference play on the 23rd of September. They are fully idle that Friday and the whole next week. First home game in Big 8 play will be the 10th of October against Modesto. Throw in up the right sideline. Knocked down by Robertson, unable to keep it in play. It'll be another throw in as Woodland gain about 15 yards. Throw in towards the right edge of the box to Adeline Flores. Brings it down but can't find a teammate. Maila Hicks trying to find Walden, leaking out but unable to quite direct it. Another throw in here for Woodland in search of Moncada. Cleared and straight out off the boot of Robertson. And we stay living in this general vicinity here. This time the throw-in is towards the box, and another clearance that is just not going where the Vikings want it to. I think you're seeing an awful lot of fatigue, a team that has had to play 90 minutes with just 11 players and good chunks of that with just 10. Throw-in back into the box, brought down. Dessel not able to get control of it. Flores trying to find it, but it'll be cleared by the Vikings. Hannah Morell out toward the midfield stripe. Miyazaki not able to resist the arrival of Bella Rico. Now comes free to the 2 Moncada. Top right corner of the box. Robertson takes it away from her. Amanda up the sideline, looking for Angie. Met first by Pimentel and cleared. DVC throw to come. Encouragement coming from Maila Hicks. Vikings looking at least for a strong finish to this, as we said, playing out there with 11 for the first time since midway through the first half. Regis came in to keep the Vikings from going down to 9 women when Hannah Morell picked up that injury, and when Morell came back, they decided, or Cammie decided, you know, I'll finish this out. That one skews wide. Another throw in to come here for Woodland as the aforementioned Regis clears it out the sideline. Basketball dribbling, maybe audible in the field microphone here as it's brought back forward. Again, a throw-in repelled, and again on its way out. This time around, one of the people not connected to a headset on their way to try and retrieve that. But Woodland perfectly happy to let the final 6 minutes of action here from the Woodland Sports Park expire. Pimentel with a throw. Headed away by Rodriguez and blasted way up in the air by Regis. Brought down with a chest by the 16. Bella Rico, and a whistle here for an injured player. Looks like Regis a little the worse for it after swinging through on that clearance. We'll see if she stays in the match after that or if they decide to go back down to 10 to avoid picking up any further collateral damage. Cami appears to be favoring her right foot and on her way back to the trainer's table. So Hannah Morell, who is the other Viking that has spent some time off the field today, will be the one on the free kick. This from about 15 to 20 yards behind the center stripe. Indeed, Regas out and the Vikings down to 10 women for the final 5 minutes of play here in Woodland. Morell drills this one, knocked down by Valeria Leon, claimed by Rodriguez for just a moment. Now it's Dessel, cuts around the arrival of Hicks, now the arrival of Rodriguez. Now looking to feed Moncada up the left wing, repelled from there by Sofia Loera. Scooped out in the direction of Moncada, touch from Loera, but it's going to favor Dessel. Drilled away by Hannah Morell. Ball now in the midfield as Anjali Huber trying to hassle Anna Tovar. Needs to watch out. We know that Anjali has had a couple of small run-ins, yet to pick up a card this season, but certainly drew the ire of Skyline's head coach on opening day. Not afraid to mix it up. Certainly gives as good as she gets if a defender decides they want to jostle her. Ball cleared up the right side by DVC, but held on to by Salazar, and that's sort of been the story of today's game. Even with 11 women, DVC have struggled to hold possession against this Woodland team, a vastly improved side, at least in terms of the eye test compared to last season. As we told you, last year, 8 goals scored, 70 conceded, 1 win and 1 draw amidst 18 matches played. Both of those against Mendocinos. This is going to be their second win of this season. Kenya Shears definitely a big part of it, but not a one-woman operation. Kayla Conchola, very impressive. And that defensive line has generally given the Vikings fits. Here's a ball forward looking for Huber, who turned it as it went around 2 defenders. The third one, though, Yahaira Ramirez Padilla, the one who comes away with it. Popped up by Loera. Moncada forward looking for Dawkins. Cut off there by Robertson. Ball comes free. Moncada coming forward, but out comes Hernandez. And Bella's got it. I'd say it is roughly as hard to believe that this is the Woodland program that we saw in Pleasant Hill last year losing 8-0, as it is to believe that this is the same DVC team that beat Cabrillo 4-0 3 days ago. Just hasn't had the same cutting edge. They've had to conserve their energy from the start, but they've just struggled to possess and create much. We saw one brilliant light just before halftime as Hannah Morell put a ball in on a diagonal to find a leaking out Anjali Huber. And Huber did what she's done so far all season. You give her a sniff of goal, and that thing is hitting the back of the net. Unfortunately, the emotional drain of the goal just before the halftime break. The Vikings just never really threatening here in this second half. The ball forward right now for Dessel as Woodland look for a fifth and icing on the cake. This one dragged across the 6. No one closing up the far post. Moncada a little late arriving. And that'll go out for a goal kick. Correction, that one had so much curl on it that it actually went out at the sideline, shy of the corner flag, and in fact it took a deflection, so it was a Woodland throw-in, but the ball now taken away by Alina Rodriguez, who surges forward. Angie Huber holding her run, now trying to get away from Pimentel. May well have been interfered with. Here comes Angie Huber, enters the 18-yard box, forced wide right, fires, and that'll be DVC's first corner kick as Angie authors her third shot on goal of today's game. Palmed away by Asensio. This time around, no doubt that it's a corner. Earlier, toward the tail end of the first half rather, thought we saw a corner kick. I either misread a signal or it was overruled. But this one, the first of the game in minute number 90. DVC looking for a little consolation as we finish things out. Walden putting this ball into the 18. That falls near Soboleski, who barely misses wide left. Had to take it on the volley. Not a lot of time with the crowd in the interior, but it does not find the frame. 5th Viking shot against those 16 today from Woodland. Just a tough, shorthanded day at the office for the green and white. At least the ones that drove up here from Pleasant Hill. The ones that live here, far different story. They're going to feel very good. They will be at 500, 2-2 on the season. Alina Rodriguez takes the ball away at the midfield stripe, looks to dance around the arrival of Canchola. That one's out for a throw, and that is your ball game. So the Vikings fall to defeat today, 4-1 on their first road date of the season. Their record now 1-5. Woodland, their second win of the season, they go to 2-2 behind a hat trick from the likeliest suspect, Kenya Shears. Assists from Kayla Canchola, who scored goal number 2, as well as Natalie Moncada and Anna Tovar. The Vikings 1 tally, a lovely bit of work from Hannah Morell and Anjali Huber. Very pleasing on the eye, and we'll try and get that highlight synced up with the call here once we pull the video off of Huddle. Unfortunately, that's the lone bright spot on a day dominated by the home side. Again, a reminder of what's coming up here in DVC Athletics. Men's water polo in Stockton this weekend at the Antilla Tournament. Football on the road in Eureka. Do try and see if that's tune-inable on YouTube tomorrow at 3 p.m. The number 9 team in the state taking on College of the Redwoods, looking to go 3-0. And of course, cross country tonight at the Kyle Robinson Twilight Invitational. We'll have updates on all of that when we see you next on Tuesday from Pleasant Hill when the Vikings take on De Anza College. Until then, this is Joe Hickey wishing you dreams of green. Till next time, so long.